Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 18 of the Realm Recap. I am Jason from Yakface.com, joined once again with a slight delay from the weekend, Fly Guy from FlyGuy.net.
Good evening, good afternoon, hello. So we're here, yes, 18. We're now legal to, well, in
Well,
this country, drink, gamble, do naughty things. Oh,
boy.
yeah, that's legal in some countries, I don't know. Well, not in the US, you guys are 21,
No.
aren't you? That's right, you can't do
Yeah,
anything. There you go. So, 18 episodes. It's really 18 weeks we've been doing this?
Yeah, started
Oh, yeah, that's
in
bizarre.
February, I think was our first one.
Feels like 5 minutes ago. Anyway,
Yeah.
18 weeks of
stuff.
Star Wars. Exactly.
So, and we'd like to thank all the people that have continued to watch and comment and share our videos each week. They're slowly but surely gaining viewership, so we like that.
Definitely.
So we will start out this week. We'll kind of skip around a little bit. Usually we start off with Hasbro, but we're going to kind of get into that later because there are, I think, a lot of things to talk about regarding some of the info that came out last week regarding some of the figures that we weren't really sure or we didn't really know about prior to seeing loose images of them. Again, we'll come back to that. We'll start things off this week with some Lego rumors and kind of speculation that had come out last week. I believe you had shared.
Yeah, so this was, I think it was Hoth Bricks or another source. It was an overseas source anyway, but it was Hoth Bricks that did the real detective work here. And just sharing with you, this was from a sequence that Hoth Bricks had zoomed in on in one of the Lego creator videos some time ago. And what they'd shown was a brand new Slave 1 in the cupboard behind one of the guys.
Oh, really?
Which they hadn't really highlighted. But I mean, again, there's a Watto in there and a few other creations. But this seems to be confirmed. Our friends at Brickset.com, Hugh and the guys there, have already added the set number to their database, which is, for all the years that I've worked with and done stuff with those guys, when they add it to the directory, it's happening. It's happening. So pretty 99% sure we're getting an Ultimate Collector Series Slave 1.
That'll be nice.
It'll be expensive, I'm sure,
Yeah.
like the B-Wing and a few others like it before, but you ever gone in for any of these Ultimate Collector things? Have you ever kind of...
No, I've been tempted so often on a lot of them. It's, they're so big and they're so expensive. It's just hard to, jump in with those. And did I hear, I don't know if it was regarding this Boba Fett or something else, but did I hear too that we were getting a new Boba Fett minifigure with this set as well?
Potentially, yeah. I mean, they've started doing, since we got the Ultimate Collector Series, the Executor set recently.
Right.
That was the first one I can recall. No, it's not actually. We've had the Imperial Shuttle before as well with minifigures. At one point, we just used to get the vehicle, and that was
right.
it.
That's what I remember.
Yeah, that was a popular one. Was the Jedi? Well, actually, in fact, it wasn't very popular. Was the I think it was Obi-Wan's Starfighter, and it didn't sell all that well. So the introduction of minifigures is the secret sauce. I think without a doubt. So it's
pisses off a lot of people, probably.
Absolutely. So yeah, probably getting another Boba Fett minifigure, which is we're gonna get one. So yeah, but interesting to see what happens there. But it's one of those other hidden sets. But between that and the Ultimate Sandcrawler this year as well. It's an expensive year for Lego, yet again. But
right.
Talking of Lego, we'll dive on to the next thing, which was even more. Let me just share again on screen with everybody. It was another set which came out, and this was a Star Wars fan and AFOL, if you know what I mean, adult fan of Lego. Whoops, the page is just reloading there. But this guy from Poland has created, and I've lost the link. There we go. Has created from Poland a 2-meter long Star Wars Imperial Star Destroyer. The picture does not do it justice. I'll try and open the Flickr gallery here. We've got a lot of tabs open here, but we'll give it a go. Unbelievable in terms of the scale of this thing. It's absolutely huge. But he's built this thing from bricks, and some of the photographs we'll see in just a sec. He's smoothed this thing out. I haven't seen anything like this at all. Hopefully this Flickr gallery will open here. But it's just mammoth. And the hours that this guy has spent doing this, yeah.
There's been a lot of these humongous sets floating around as of late. I think most recently I saw Entertainment Earth was sharing a few different ones. There was like a was it a Republic cruiser or something like that from the Clone Wars that was built also.
Can't recall. Oh, it wouldn't surprise me if some of
It's
these
just
guys.
as detailed as this. I mean,
Well,
it's
I go for it.
hard to believe that this is attainable through bricks, you know.
I know, and expensive as well. You can see the interior construction there is hugely kind of technical parts holding the skin together. But a lot of these fans, a huge event happens here. I know there's one in the US as well, but a huge one that happens here called Brickvention, and it's just thousands, hundreds of thousands of people turn up to this event, and you literally have stadiums filled with streets, like, you know,
Right.
10, 15 meters long of Lego. So these guys, they go nuts for this stuff. But you can see the detail in some of these shots. It was the exhaust that blew me away. Everything's smooth. So normally you get obviously the studs on Lego, but J.A.C.K. has just done an amazing job on this thing. It's just, and he's gone into all the detail. He's got little humorous images on there, and just the whole, what it all started in his bedroom floor, and yeah, it's pretty beautiful. So
it lights up as well too, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's right. That's right. I think there's a shot there somewhere of some lights.
I saw like with the, you know, the hanger, you know, bottom on the, or the door on the bottom looked to be illuminated, and some other.
Yes, yeah, you're right. It's got a mirror underneath as well, which kind of highlights the Tantive 4B as well. So yeah, tons of detail. We could be there all day looking at it. He's got tons of photos, but yeah, what an amazing piece. So. Yes, so more Lego. So yeah, very, very expensive already. 2 things in the show and you're already bankrupt. So
right.
That's just the way it goes with Lego.
And there was another Lego item too that you had shared. I saw on your website. It's not in our show notes, but it was regarding the mystery minifigure that is coming with that book.
The Palpatine, yes, that's right. I never added that in. That's right. It's just we get to see Palpatine's face, so it's kind of a small thing, but I'll quickly add that into the show notes where we're talking later on. But yeah, you get a little bit of Palpatine. You get to see. So we knew it was Palpatine. We announced that a few weeks ago, but yes, you get to see a little snippet of that as well. That was from Brick Set 2, so well done to them.
So I'm not familiar with all the different Emperor Palpatine minifigures out there. How is this one exclusive or different?
He's got a kind of yellowy face. Let me just, I finally got it there, share on screen so you can just see now. We've never had that kind of sickly yellow face. We've had a grey, dark,
gray face.
A very grey face. We've had the Palpatine as the Senator with a kind of cream face. What else have we had? Like shades of 50 Shades of Grey. But now we're in 50 Shades of something, yes. So yeah, it's that's the new face, but a little uneventful on the body and the torso. But yeah, so it's very, very Yoda's Chronicles face. I think that's really what it's kind of referencing. I believe, if I remember the face the last time I watched it. So yeah, more minifigures in the Dark Side book. So yet another book to buy. So you know, Lego books. My God, they just keep coming left and right at the moment.
Right.
So yeah, that was Lego. Next on the list, I think it was still me. This was just nice to see, and I don't know whether this has happened for you yet. Let me see if I'm sharing this properly. Let's have a look. This was just a surprise. We have a large store down here called Meyer. You have a slightly different called Fred Meyer, but it's the same kind of idea, I think. And they had a huge display of Star Wars products put out. But what really kind of caught my attention was the Rebels toppers on all the marketing material. Absolutely decked out in all these side panels. So this isn't custom. This is given by Hasbro reps and others. So you can see these nice panels with Ezra and Chopper. They're all the way around this, and they're all quite different. It has to be said, even up the top with Inquisitor, the Stormtroopers, and then the Rebels crew and cast. So there's about 3 or 4 different designs. But considering we have an absolute drought of content here, to suddenly have this just flooded, but sadly it's everything that we've all had ages ago or pre-ordered or bought online, so it's nothing in it, crazy prices that you know, frankly, you just wouldn't want to buy. So, you know,
that almost looks like a, almost like a model store, you know, that not something that's ever been shopped. You know, it's just it's so pristine looking.
It was a big event down here. It was a big, large new mall that opened up in the city centre. So this was a kind of flagship store for them. So nice to see that gear.
Yeah, I assume we'll see something similar at our stores, whether it be Target or Walmart. And
Exactly, exactly.
The
So
glut
kind of on a
will
Rebels.
the glut will begin.
Begin the glut has. So we're still on Rebels theme, I think, for the next thing, which was
Right.
you.
Yoda's News got an exclusive reveal. This was early last week. Maybe I'll have to double check. Speaking of Yoda's News, they revamped their website. I don't know if anyone had noticed that, and
Mm,
they did a really good job of upgrading that. Even they said it was kind of a dated website, but now it's more more modern as far as linked
mm,
articles and whatnot. So congrats to them on
indeed.
their upgrade. But what they were able to get is General Giant provided them with the first look at the actual maquette before it was just a rendering or a prototype. Um, they received images, and also they were able to reveal that the Premier Guild membership version is going to have an alternate head included with it, and it's the helmeted head. I think some of that, I think that head has been seen before in some concept art for
Yeah, I
the
thought that
series.
was the concept one year from memory, but yeah.
Yeah, and that actually that head also dates back to a Ralph McQuarrie design. Um, I
All
don't know
right.
if it was for the Royal Guard back in
Back in the
during
day.
Return of the Jedi, maybe. But that is a familiar design that Ralph McQuarrie had come up with that they've incorporated into the show.
Very
So,
nice. Yeah,
so
lots of Rebel stuff. It's just about to all drop, isn't it? It's kind of like any
yep.
day now. That's a rather cool helmet, actually. That's pretty swish.
Hmm.
Nice.
What else?
What else we
Getting
got?
on to
Anakin, I think, is next.
Anakin. Kind of some Hasbro news here. Um, Anakin, the 6-inch version, has hit eBay, and for a while there, in the initial solicitation images, everyone was concerned that it had that white skirt,
Mm,
both in the loose and packaging shots. Um, I believe was it Viper Kingdom that had this
that's
figure
right,
for
yeah.
sale. He confirmed that it does in fact have the correct brown, fabric
It's
material.
a lot of people are rushing to buy this. I think a lot of people, this desperate need to be first is obviously still there with everybody. But I think, as you pointed out as well, it's only $14.99 in some stores, the dark
Hmm.
side. But for some reason, this was 30 or 40, something like that went up for. Can't remember.
Right.
But it was a lot of money. It was
Yeah.
crazy. But which is, fine well, you're going to see this thing swinging in the pegs, I'm sure, at some point as well. So I don't know whether I would rush to buy that, but well, it's brown skirt, so good to see.
The only reason I could see it maybe possibly, you know, doing well is because
The rest are
it's
white
got
skirts.
well, it's got that alternate head that you could display it, both ways. So
True, true, true,
you
true.
might have the option there to pick up a second one to display it both ways, and also there's been a few eBay sellers that have been selling custom cloaks for some of the
Saw
6-inch
that.
figures. I think Rich a lot had posted one of those before when he was working with Rebel Scum when he was doing some of the photo archive entries. I think that would be another cool opportunity to pick up a second Anakin and maybe have him with the custom robe that you can purchase off eBay for a varied display.
Oh, without a doubt, I think he's not. I don't think he's two in a pack, a case. I can't remember what the
I
actual
don't
case
remember
pack
either.
is, but yeah, just I tend to find. I mean, Anakin's normally in abundance.
Hmm.
So yeah, it was just people were paying 35, 40, something like that. I thought, oh my god, this is just nuts. But
Yeah,
considering again, $14.99 or whatever it's going to be, whatever you buy it. But yeah, it's
yeah.
it's not going to white skirt.
Yeah, don't
Don't pay a
overpay.
lot of money. No, 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 no.
Let's see what else. Continuing on with Hasbro, last week was also revealed that Jedi Temple Archives had posted some loose images of the Bespin Luke with the crazy, crazy arms, and uh, loose images, loose disrobed images of Yoda, and it's surprisingly shocking at how little that figure is articulated for being in the Black Series line. I think people were
Yeah.
a little
I
bit.
mean, I don't know. Which are you annoyed about it that it's not as articulated, or are you?
I am, because I mean I understand you're not going to see it if you're going to keep his robe on, but
Yep.
you're not going to be able to pose him in a whole lot of poses with the robe on either. You know, his arms are locked in that bent shape. You can't. He
Sure.
has no elbow articulation, so whatever he's doing, he's going to be, C3PO pose practically. Um, and he doesn't have any leg articulation other than at the hips. He doesn't have waist articulation.
Hmm.
It's just he's a 5 point of articulation Black Series
Yeah.
figure, and that's not really what we thought we were getting with that figure. I don't think.
Yeah, no, Paul and I were talking about this at Jedi Temple Archives, and I was saying ultimately to me, it's like, if it was a clone, I'd say, come
Hmm.
on, it's action, it's posed, it's an action figure, let's do something with it. But the Yoda, yeah, you're really either going to put him in a backpack, he's going to stand there and hold his gimmer stick, or he's going to hold a
Right.
lightsaber. There's really, to my mind, I don't really have an issue with it. I think what the good thing is they've got the head sculpt right. I think this is a good
It
head
does look
sculpt.
pretty good.
I think particularly the photograph that someone has shared up there, it's a little grainy, the quality to see it, but that seems to be on the money. And from my money, the Luke's arms, yeah, they look absolutely bizarre from the front on, but it posed right, or putting the arms to hold the backpack. Again, it's all in the photography and how you look at
Right.
it in the pose. And I'm not so fast. I think we really need to see them in hand. Again,
Yeah.
these are admittedly by the photographer, not the best photographs. Um,
I could see the
yeah,
point too. I mean, it's Yoda from The Empire Strikes Back, and it's not like he did a whole lot of action in that film. He sat on a log, or he sat on the ground, or he sat in a sack, or he laid in a bed and died. It's like, well, not in Empire, but he wasn't, Attack of the Clones sprightly. So
correct, correct.
I
So
could
which
I could give it a pass regarding that. I mean, it's fine for the subject matter, I guess. But
I think that's what I
I
was
also
saying.
found that the the um, contracted company that had
Yes.
sculpted this figure up, or had proposed what the sculpt for this figure was something way more articulated than what we actually got, and I think that caused a bit of, I don't know, frustration with collectors, myself included.
Sure.
You can see, I believe it's in the show notes there. I thought I had
Yep.
it. Oh, yep,
Just
yep.
sharing it on screen.
Number 8.
Uh, yep. So it's a larger image here. So just give us a second to this little. God, it's like the 80s, early
Yeah,
90s. Scroll line by line. So yeah, you've got this large boss fight studios, isn't it? I think it
yep,
was that mocked this up. So yeah, lots of detail, but I think the real clincher, as you said, was this part down here
right.
with the. That's a heck of a lot of articulation for a tiny little guy.
It's,
Um,
shoulders, elbows, wrists, knees, ankles, hips, waist, neck.
do we know if this is for Black Series 3 3/4 or Black Series 6 inch?
If you scroll all the way over to the left and look, there's a indication of 1.75 inches,
There you go.
or 1.95 inches, excuse me.
1.95 inches. Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
that's obviously the
That's
3 3/4 inch scale.
I was going to say if that was for 6 inch, then awesome, great, done.
Right,
But I mean, again, you're going to achieve this pose, and this pose.
right.
So I don't know. I mean, for me, this figure is it's about this Luke doing poses and standing in his hand or whatever it may be. So that's why they've gone for the super articulation, and I guess Yoda's pretty much an add-on. He's
Right. And that would have been fun. I mean, I would have liked to get them both together in the same pack then, if he's more of an
true. That's very true.
accessory to
True.
to to Luke. So
Yeah, good point. Good point. You also noticed something else where we're here and talking about this. If we're skipping a little bit, was on the design change. I don't know whether there's a bigger picture here. Let me see if we can. Is it
yeah, I
two
think I
separate pictures? Oh, you got it. Yeah. So you've shown there that it was in the original mock-ups just a kind of blue strap,
yeah,
but
Velcro tab kind of a
Yeah,
deal.
let's see if we can
And
zoom that up a little. Yeah, and now we get this ginormous kind
cowboy
of
belt buckle.
yeah, exactly. Well, oh, there we go. Awesome, great, huge photo. So yeah, good God, that's a high-res photo. So yeah, a little bit of Velcro there actually,
Yep.
which would have been, I guess, really fiddly. And now we're getting this. Please fasten your seatbelts. Yes,
Yeah.
it's
Hang on.
wow.
It's like a human. That's like a life size.
And that's a child safety strap. That's what that is. That's yeah, and we get this. I mean, this detail here again is the little silver touches there and none there. I don't know. So
Yeah. Again,
it's
that
just
photo on the left is the Hasbro, hero fluffed up image that they, you know,
mm,
it's not. It was never the production. It's the photoshopped image that we saw. Basically, the same deal with the Yoda we saw before, and the Jabba. They send out that solicitation imagery and they try to make it look as obviously as good as possible.
yeah. I guess the annoying part is if you've ever had a hot toy, you'll know that the little Velcro pieces. What happens is the Velcro will stick together, but it'll come away from the other item. So that's probably the situation is trying to, the Velcro would just be ruined. It would just, as soon as you pull apart, you'll actually just pull the Velcro from the blue strap. So I can see why they did this, which they've done on some G.I. Joe toys.
Oh, really?
Yeah, maybe not quite as big as that buckle there, but yeah. So interesting. Another strange Hasbro odd development. Do you want to go back and talk about the Leia? We want Leia just because I think that was.
Oh, I moved her to the
Oh,
bottom.
did you? Sorry,
Yeah.
my apologies. Okay, so that was
Um,
Yoda. We're mildly disappointed, are we? I think overall, we're just.
yeah, I mean, it's not going to dissuade me from picking it up by any means. It's just, it's not what I thought we were getting, and I think a lot of people feel that way.
Yep. So we're done with Yoda. Okay, wave 5.
Wave 5.
Yeah, so wave 5's already up for pre-order, which was kind of new. So interesting case assortment here. Let me just share this on screen. So darksidetoys.com. They have obviously all the other waves, and there's the wave we've got, which we're talking about here, which is the Yoda and the Lukes and Torin Farr, Dak, Snowtroopers, and Bastilla Shan. In Wave 5, obviously we don't really have Hasbro official images as yet, but you can pick up the pack. So some of you may want to just even skip Wave 4 entirely and go to Wave 5 because you can get a Wedge, you get Luke Jedi training, you get Yoda Jedi training, you get Darth Vader, you get the Snowtrooper, Torin Farr-Rees, and Skiff Guards. In some ways, it's actually a bit of a better wave. If you don't want Bastilla, if you've already got her, then what are you missing? I think Dak, which he'll be easy enough to pick up. So yeah,
Right, and he's yeah. Yeah,
so
that's a pretty nice case right there.
I think in some ways it's actually a more attractive case than the other one. You're getting everything you need: Torin, Rees, Skiff Guard, Snowtrooper, Darth Vader. So you are getting multiples of Wedge, Luke, Yoda, Darth.
Hmm.
But well, flog them, sell them, whatever. I don't know. But yeah. So I mean, I think in some ways Wave 4 is not out yet, but it's coming. Yeah, but whatever wave you pick, you really, yeah. Personally, I'm more inclined for Wave 5 because I've got Bastilla Shan. I don't need any more. So
Right.
actually, everything I want's in Wave 5 for me. And Dak, it's like chucking in one for $7.99 and you're done. So yeah, I don't know. What are you doing? What do you think? Are you
For me, it
good?
all depends on the whatever deco change differences there may be between Dak's release here and the original and Bastille Shan's release.
True. Good point. They make
If
little
they're
tweaks.
if they're clear variants, then yeah, I need them. So I'd be probably either getting both cases or at least getting, singles. I might pay a little bit more. It depends. It all depends on how these waves hit distribution at retail too.
That's true.
Because I might just wait for wave 4 to hit retail and try to scoop up those 2 figures I need out of that case, and then worry about getting wave 5 online.
3 actually. You'll need Wedge too, because he's unique to that set too.
Oh yeah.
That's what I'm saying. It's
Another. I don't
kind of
want
a
another wedge. Oh, I do need an. That's a different wedge. Damn.
it's a different West. I'm saying so. It's like kind of it's like wave
All
4,
right.
wave 5.
Okay.
It's kind of so. Really, I think the clincher is Bastilla Shan. Really,
Yeah.
if you don't have, I mean, generally speaking, these are going to be repacks. In some ways, they might be worse. So you know, you might not want to pick that one up. Either way, wave 4 or wave 5, you get some choice. So it's actually not a bad thing. Some people are even a little unhappy, saying, "Oh, it's the same figures," and say, "Well, yes and no." But you get some choice. This Vinylmation, you're going down a dark hole here with this
Oh boy.
Vinylmation.
Um,
You're.
I've been bitten.
Have you? Have you really gone?
Yeah.
So-
I've been talking with Kevin
Yep.
Gothrope, and yeah, we're making side deals, and he's helping me pick up these exclusive ones, and then I'm going to be picking up some of the other figures from him as well. So I've now succumbed to the Mickey side, and
Oh boy.
but I just
You love
like
him?
I've mentioned on other shows, I've collected Kubricks, and that line is essentially dead now. I never
is
got
good.
into the bear bricks, so I saved a lot of coin there.
Are you about to spend it now?
I know.
Vinylmation's not cheap, but
No.
it's a line with a hell of a lot of exclusives that Kevin's shared with us
Yeah.
before and told me as well. It's like it's hard to pick up some of these.
Yeah.
You literally got to be at the park to get one of 200 or something. That's insane. I just can't deal with that. But
Yep.
they are cool looking. They're very cool.
I don't know why all of a sudden they've started to grow on me, but man, like I said, I'm totally bitten.
Well, like, I don't blame you. I mean, the ones we're just sharing just now is the prototype Fett and the classic Fett, and they're good looking little mini figures. And you know,
Yeah.
add the fact that they're rare and collectible. That's pretty nice. I think also just under that you had in that link there too the holographic Emperor Palpatine. Is that?
Yep, that came out
is that
last week, this past weekend.
So yes, very.
Yeah, it's holographic, and people were kind of confused on what's on his ear. It looks like it's snowing or something on one of his ears there. When it's displayed in the box, it's black on the inside,
Aha.
so it's transparent, and they're asteroids
Okay.
because it's holographic Emperor from The Empire Strikes Back.
Right.
So
Okay.
it's
Little. Well, this kind of weird symbol there is almost.
Return of the Jedi with the.
I thought so
behind
for a
his
minute,
ear.
but then I thought it was almost Darth Vader's chamber from the top, or I don't know what that is, but yeah, not for me. But
Yeah, I don't know. So what I'm
Too late.
we'll get to that in my acquisitions for what I'm all
Okay,
what I'm all
okay,
getting
okay.
this week. I've got a list. It's not pretty.
Oh dear, to the dark side we go. Let me try and where are we? All over the place. Santa Cruz is back. Let's share that one. And
Yeah, I saw this. Rebel Scum had linked this from some. I believe they must have got it some sort of exclusive source or whatnot. But there are new Santa Cruz decks, skateboard decks coming out.
so these are full size.
Yep, these are full size.
And
So there's like a
they're for
cantina
full price.
scene. There's the Rancor, Slave Leia. I don't know what was the other one. Palpatine. Yep.
Yep.
And I think there's also I don't know if this has been showed off before. There's a R2D2 and C3PO deck. Both are on the same board together. There's a couple other ones. There's a Tatooine Luke. That isn't part of this gallery here, but yeah, they're really going all in on the Star Wars boards for that
For that line, yeah.
that one. Yeah.
Well, they've got the license, so I think once you get the license, you want to kind of, yeah. So
Yeah, and there are multiple versions of these decks as well, where you can get the actual skatable versions, or you can get like framed versions as well. There's like a new, like I think one of the original. There's like a wood deck that's all wood inlay that had Darth Vader on it.
Okay.
Was the original, and then I think they came out with a Boba Fett one, and then there's now going to be an R2D2 one. I saw. It's
Man,
pretty.
if you're collecting skateboards, that's going to be expensive.
Yeah, like those wood inlay ones. I think they're like $400 or something like that. They're works of art. They're meant to be displayed, and geez, I hope someone wouldn't skate them. So,
Yep. Yet more Star Wars collectibles, and there's
yeah.
no shortage of them. Talking of which, Hot Wheels is
Hot
next.
Wheels. I believe it was last week, maybe it was the week before even, that we posted a teaser um, of the Hot Wheels car coming out. Hot Wheels has been kind of throwing out additional teasers that there's a display box that correlates with the San Diego exclusive version of the Darth Vader car that's coming out. So inside that box, there's going to be a lightsaber that it's almost like a I would call it like a poster tube almost, but it's a lightsaber and it's clear in the middle, and the Darth Vader car sets inside, and it's a display
Very
option
nice.
for it. The car itself will be available at retail like the other cars. It's just the packaging that's going to be exclusive for um, San Diego Comic-Con.
That's a very nice way of doing things. I think if it's just the package that's different, that makes a great deal of difference for
Yeah,
collectors. That means you're not missing out on too much, really.
right.
But
And then our friends at Jedi Temple Archives, they had leaked two additional cars earlier this week, or middle of last
Ted,
week. A C-3PO car, which is like a VW bus, and some sort of a custom car for R2D2.
yeah,
And I saw people were kind of describing that C-3PO bus as the Winnebago from Spaceballs.
Spaceballs. That's what I was about to say. Yeah. So yeah, I don't know. This line's there's a very similar. I just shared the other day. Disney Pixar's
Mhm.
has a line of Star Wars vehicles as well. A Boba, a Django, and a Stormtrooper, and they're all very similar. So
It's like the
I don't know
Disney
if you.
Racers line. Is that what that was?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think I've got one. Let me see if I've got Twitter. Yeah, I do. I've got Twitter open. I'll see if I can share that with you. And further down, I'm sure it was. Yeah, there you go. There's one. So it's a kind of weird line. I don't know. It's Disney Pixar cars. So I don't know how they're quite getting that license. And there was a Fett one somewhere.
Yeah, I remember seeing.
But there's a Django one, which kind of looks kind of cool. I mean, Hot Wheels is not my thing, but
Right.
do you think you go in for this kind of stuff? Are you? You're going to buy a few. I can tell by that
I
sigh.
know. Stupid me. Um, I, I do pick up
Just,
Hot Wheels, like the regular Hot Wheels line, the dollar cars.
do
Um,
you? All
I
right.
I pick up muscle cars. I don't pick up like some of the weird, dragon cars, or some of the other ridiculous non street legal cars. I'll pick up some of the 70s and 80s muscle cars sometimes, but
Well,
no, I'm not huge into it, and I don't know how far, if at all, I'll get into this Hot Wheels Star Wars line.
hmm. Well, between that and this Disney Pixar, I mean, these are 16.99. So for some of
Yeah,
these cars, anyway, they're yeah, it's certainly not $1. So yeah,
yeah. I think the ones that, like I said before, I think the ones that'll be at retail here for this new line, they'll probably be in that close to $4 range for those cars.
I think as we discussed before, if we get that nice card art that we showed for, I can't remember what it was. Was it Marvel or something we showed a couple of weeks ago?
There was
The
a Star Trek one.
was it Star Trek? That's what it was, and it just looked. And we were talking about the fact if the packaging's right, then yeah, the price might be right too.
Yeah,
So
the Star Trek card art was kind of pop art, like
yep.
the big halftone looking
Mm,
images, kind of comic strippy. So,
yep.
yeah, I don't know what direction the packaging is going to go, like for this new line. Could be kind of a
Uh,
Black Series type of deal, or I don't know. Might take it
Oh,
in a
there's
different direction.
no shortage of products, that's for sure. Next up, I think is Cad Bane
Yes.
from. This is a
Sideshow
weird
Collectibles.
one. Yeah, I have a strange one here. I was a little bit. Even me as a cloneaholic, I was kind of like,
Yeah,
really?
they're they're getting their money's worth out of that mold.
They really, really are, aren't they? They're just extending it just a little bit too far. But we'll just wait and we'll show a slightly bigger picture there. But 6 scale Cad Bane in Denal disguise, which was on screen in the Clone Wars for what? Oh, I don't know, 30 seconds?
If that,
So,
10.
if that, yeah. So, it's a pretty nice facial structure of, or mold, I should say, of
Yeah,
Cad Bane. Not bad.
it's
But I think
it's
most people. What were you going to say?
it's a decent looking figure again. I mean, Sideshow doesn't make too much, that I would consider crap. I think
No, it doesn't.
their
No.
stuff is typically pretty solid. Um, it's just it's dipping into that clone trooper well again.
Yep.
And and to not have like a 6th scale Cad Bane in his regular outfit first, you have to go this route to get Cad Bane.
Yeah, I think we'll get one with it. I mean, if they go to the fact that the mold, I mean, Cad Bane's a relatively simple
Hmm.
structure to build. Stick a hat on it. Yeah, well, hey, they got to make money off this thing, I guess. So more power to them. I'll probably be getting it. So I'm sad. So
Yeah.
Sideshow 1, Flag Eye nil.
It'll be interesting
Basically,
to see. It'll be interesting to see when Rebels comes out if they put the Clone Wars stuff to rest as far as
mm,
those releases and maybe focus more on. I can only imagine that we're going to get a Rebel style Stormtrooper. Where it has maybe the funky helmet.
sure. Well, I mean, it took them a while to really get going on the Clone Wars, if I recall correctly. There was no immediate releases.
Mm-mm.
In fact, to be honest, I think it was really as the show was winding down, we really got the Clone Wars figures
Right.
coming out from Sideshow. Um, yeah, look, it's a clone. It's not a clone. So if you like clones, yeah. If you don't, it's like slight variance. But these look cool. The Funko Journeys exclusives.
Right. A month or so ago, Vans, like I guess it was right around May the 4th, they went on sale, or that was announced. I think they went on sale the first week of June. Vans announced a partnership with Star Wars to license, um, patterned Star Wars shoes and bags and whatnot. Um, and if you were to purchase your order through Journeys.com, which is I don't know if they ship international or not.
I don't think so. Don't think so.
They have exclusive Funko skateboarding figures, one of Boba Fett and one of Darth Vader, and they're wearing like Vans shoes, and they have a skateboard under each arm. They're randomly packed, and so you don't know what you're gonna get if with your order. I think you have to spend $50 or $75. I can't remember what the cutoff is, but you get one of each or one or the other of these figures. They're 6 inches tall. I don't think they're articulated in any way. They're just statuesque kind of vinyl figures, but I thought they were kind of neat.
They are kind of neat. Hopefully they're not bobbleheads. I'm just not a fan
I
of
don't
bobblehead
I don't
stuff.
think they are.
No, they look pretty fixed, I think. Otherwise, Boba's head's about to fall off. So,
Well,
yeah, they're kind of cool. But,
I see them going for about $50 on their own on eBay right now.
That's
So,
nuts.
Yeah,
That's
so it's $50 for a pair of shoes or $50 for the vinyl figure.
Hey ho.
Hey, I'm not gonna just besmirch anyone picking up a $50 figure when if I'm about to go down that
Vinylmation, I know. So.
Vinylmation. I don't want to sound too hypocritical.
Well, I mean, put it this way: there's choice from shoes to
Right.
skateboards to Vinylmation, whatever. There's plenty of choice in Star Wars, that's for sure.
Right. This was kind of spur of the moment thing. I'm sure a lot of people heard about the Disney response to. I think there are a lot of you know women and moms and whatnot trying to buy Leia merchandise for themselves or for their kids or whatnot, and Disney responded with a tweet saying that we have no plans on having Leia merchandise. Have a nice day. Kind of, it seemed very short. Kind of just totally blew the person off that submitted that question, and it went viral pretty much right after that. There were a lot of people on Twitter responding to the Disney store, sending them tweets, and this hashtag had developed called "We Want Leia," and a lot of people, men and women, were getting in on this, saying that why would Disney, neglect such a strong market of buyers by not having Princess Leia merchandise, considering Disney has a ton of princesses in their
I know.
in their stores and in their stable of characters. It didn't make sense, and I posed the question on Twitter: has anyone started a campaign, a petition to Disney,
Yep.
in order to try to get them to, recognize that this is an issue and people want to be able to get Princess Leia merchandise. So I came up with a petition thing, a free one online, and within the first couple days I had a couple hundred signatures, and then I think 2 or 3 days after that whole thing went viral, Disney came out and issued a statement saying that we are going to have in the future some Leia merchandise, and I think there, to be honest, I think it was planned all along.
Sure.
To have some sort of Princess Leia merchandise. It's just, a part of. They didn't launch with Leia merchandise with the initial product launch of the Star Wars brand, so I think that, again, ruffled some feathers, kind of similar to along the line of when the cast of Star Wars Rebels came out, where not a lot of the female characters were announced first, and then when the Episode 7 cast announcement came out, there were not a lot of women announced with that, and people were saying, what does Disney / Lucasfilm have against putting women in the forefront for some of this stuff? And I could see their point in some regard, and then I could say, not all the news is going to come out for the entire thing on the same day. They spread stuff out for a reason, and so.
Well, look, I think it's. I don't recall any franchises that they've bought where they've taken the female, and it happens to be a princess, who's a real person, not an animation, and
Right.
then made lots of products from it. So I think it's a little unusual for them.
Right.
And add the fact that Carrie Fisher is, whilst hilarious and I love her,
Mm-hmm.
she's a bit of a character in terms of for a brand like Disney. You only need to watch or listen to Wishful Drinking in some of her books, and she's not
Right.
quite Disney material in some ways.
Right.
So
She's a little crass at times.
I think for Disney anyway.
Yeah.
So I think there's, I don't know, I may be making up bullshit there, but I think there's yeah, I'm sure they'll get there. But it's the same we were talking the other day in the vintage collection line. I mean, we've had barely a Princess Leia that's even any good over the years. So, but nice logo. That's the real point I wanted to share as well, was the done by that talented guy at Yakface.com. He's fantastic. He's really good.
Thanks. It was kind of weird seeing that logo pop up on the Time website, MSN website. There were a couple other ones that I eventually saw.
The Wrap. Yeah, that's pretty well done.
Because they were a lot of them were all citing the same source to the article, so it was just basically regurgitated in the same story, but it was nice to see my logo pop up on all these different things, and my name isn't mentioned, don't get me wrong. It was just my logo being shared because that was the logo I had set up on the iPetition site. I made no mention of my website, in any way on it. just my name, so it wasn't like I was trying to, advertise myself in the whole thing. I just wanted to hop on board and show my support for
But
wanting.
you still did it.
I've got 4 little girls. I mean, I want to buy them Princess Leia merchandise.
Yeah, for sure.
So.
If you're going to buy them any princess, that you want to buy that one. So
right.
Indeed.
The last little bit of collecting news is not really Star Wars related, but it again, it kind of ties back to that Boss Fight Studios we had mentioned previously. They're developing their own their own line of action figures, and they're called Vitruvian H.A.C.K.S. It stands for highly articulated and collectible something or other. I can't remember the whole acronym for it.
That's a character kit system. Very cool.
Yeah, but if they have they had a Kickstarter thing going and they totally blew it out of the water.
Yeah, 25 grand over, and they've still got 31 days to go.
And this is a 4-inch line of action figures that are able to be, combined and accessorized and, customized. It's really a pretty neat line, and they're starting off with kind of like the, what is it? Not medieval, but
it looks like kind of a Clash of the Titans or something.
Right, it's got like a Medusa, the Gorgons, which is the Medusa-like characters. There's, Roman soldiers, whole slew of different things, and you could give them different weapons, different helmets, shields, different headpieces. It's just a completely customizable line.
Wow. That's pretty slick looking. We're just watching a little bit of the video here, which again we'll put in the show notes. But beautiful, lots of weathering and detail, and wow, that looks an amazing looking figure. The detail
right, and
on
they're
it.
doing kind of like a Leonidas, from 300. It's not a 300 figure, but it's the character of Leonidas. And they all use the same basic bodies as an underlying figure, and they're just using different heads and accessories to create these new figures. So it's very cool.
Very interesting. I think from a toy development point of view, Hasbro is they're not in any trouble yet, but the amount of these things we've shared both on this show, the Hole in the Ground productions, Galactic Merchants, there's tons more out there.
Yep.
Plus this. These guys are getting a lot of money and a lot of backing and a lot of interest from, well, let's face it, you and I, our age group and our fans and followers and whatnot. Hasbro really, I'd be a little bit concerned that we've got to up our game a little bit and do something more for the collector side of things, because it's collectors that are doing this stuff. It's not 14-year-old kids. It's kind of mature adults that are making this stuff because they can't get it anywhere else.
Right.
So,
Very
impressive
cool.
looking stuff.
I know a ton of people that are going to be into this this line. So if you want to be able to get in on the ground floor, you could obviously you could support their Kickstarter campaign, and if you do different levels, you get different. Just like any Kickstarter campaign, you get different, whether it's prizes or free goods or the ability to buy additional figures that you can only purchase if you were to meet a certain goals, contribution goals. So they have a lot of info on their Kickstarter site, and then I believe on the Boss Fight Studios website as well. So
so is Boss Fight they're behind some of this stuff in terms of? Oh, of course, that's the okay. I'm now putting two and two together from the Yoda story we had earlier on.
Yep, because they're their own thing and they do contract work for other companies, but this is their own line that they're wanting to develop. I
think it has to be said. I mean, there's two things just to add to it. I don't want to drag too long on this, but again, making these figures and doing that product kind of marketing shot there is hard work, but mass producing on a global scale, I think, is obviously where Hasbro has the huge upper hand.
Right.
I mean, again, this is going to be very small runs, very limited. But then again, it's probably a limited audience, but they look amazing. And the articulation shot there, I mean, again, if it's Boss Fight Studios behind this, which has obviously been doing work for Hasbro, then they know a thing or 10 about what they're doing here. So no wonder this is an impressive, a very impressive Kickstarter, 100,000. Wow. Still 31 days to go. That's phenomenal. Well done, Boss Fight Studios. Wow. Impressive.
Yes.
Impressive.
So now we're on to the TV, movie, book, and game news. And for people who don't want to be spoiled, maybe pause it or skip ahead 6 minutes or so. We're going to talk about some stuff that had shown up on TMZ last week. I guess it was early last week. Regarding the set images, some set images from Episode 7. And a lot of them are very cool. They're again that market from Tatooine. We assume it's Tatooine. I don't know why it would be anything else. Showing some of the structures, some of the characters, some of this, whatever that animal is, that pig, rhino, right? It's just so weird seeing the development of a new Star Wars movie.
It is very strange. And huge props. Again, going back to the whole CGI side of things, it seems to be less CGI here. So, huge TMZ watermark there, just in case you didn't know it was TMZ. But there's some other pictures as well, I think, which was the... this seemed to cause... I mean, to some degree, this was a spoiler. Well, it was a spoiler. It wasn't a spoiler, but this was the one that I think caused more upset, the fact that the Falcon... Now, I remember last year, and correct me if I'm wrong, and people who are watching remind me, we'd seen a mock-up of the Falcon, or the framework, to basically remind us to say that, the Falcon will be in Episode 7.
I think... I'm trying to remember. I do remember something similar. I think that image that was leaked out was from a set shot from one of the original movies. It wasn't from Episode 7.
I just took it that the Falcon was in Episode 7.
I had no doubt that it was.
Yeah. So, anyway.
But some actual new hangar shots had turned up. I think it's a hangar of the Falcon. In various stages of being built. There was the cockpit and the whole interior. They're working on building a complete full-scale model again. And then I thought what was also maybe even more interesting was we're getting a new X-Wing, if that's what they're going to be calling it. It looks very similar to what we all know as the X-Wing, but this one feels, I think it's a little bit more sharper. It's got a larger engine. It's like has a circular engine, or it has one main circular engine that's maybe divided in two. Like when the wings were to open up. If you were to Google some of the original Ralph McQuarrie artwork for the X-Wing, this is very similar to that design.
See, again, to me, I didn't think there was any doubt we wouldn't see some of the, in fact, a ton of vintage stuff. Land speeders, sand crawlers. I'm just expecting as much as they can get marketing muscle to pour it into the movie. Because as you know, I mean, even if it's on screen for a minute, the lines of toys and franchises we can get is huge. So marketing alone, just to plop it in the movie for a second, they'll make their money back tenfold for the cost of this thing.
Right.
But some really TMZ, clearly not, holy crap, it's a Millennium Falcon, right? And we're at 22 pictures of non-Millennium Falcon, but never mind. It's this response from JJ, I think, was and this just makes me think these so-called leaks, I'm using air quotes there, even though I'm sharing some screen, I don't think they are. I think this is a perfectly legitimate, paid-for media spot, but made to look like a leak, which in turn causes more traffic.
Right.
Because then for a very calm, collected, non-legal threat by LucasArts, with a very well selected tongue-in-cheek Falcon picture there, it's a little bit too awesome to be true, maybe? Am I being too pessimistic? I don't know. But so for anyone who doesn't see this or can't see, I wish people would stop leaking photographs from Episode 7 and making ridiculous claims the Millennium Falcon is in the movie. And of course, it's on top of the Dejaric hologram table from A New Hope. So,
Well
Yeah,
played, sir.
well played. Yeah, that's what makes me think it's well orchestrated. I think, but and
Yeah,
more power to them. I think it's well done. But I don't think TMZ got access to take all these photographs because
yeah,
Lucasfilm would have the lawyers. Oh, and Disney, in fact, would have the
yeah. I don't
guts
know
for
how you would
garages. I think.
get a camera in there, you know, or a cell phone. I think all that stuff gets confiscated or left at the door when you're working
Yep.
on something as big as
But
this.
it's not unbelievable that it wouldn't happen. But it's just yeah, I would imagine the pictures would have came down the next day by Disney and LucasArts if it was you know
Yep.
legit.
Let's
Um,
see what else. There was some casting news last week.
hmm.
Episode 7 casting regarding two female characters or actresses. I'm gonna butcher her name, but it's
I know.
Luptia
Lupita, I think, and
Lupita
Gwendolyn. I think it is.
Nyong'o.
Yongo? Yeah.
Yep, she was in
Beautiful
12
girl.
Years a Slave, and then
That's beautiful.
who was the other Gwendolyn or
Yep,
Chris?
Gwendolyn
Yep,
Christie. Yep.
Gwendolyn Christie, and she's in Game of Thrones. I don't watch Game of Thrones, so I don't know what if this is awesome or
She
not.
she looks awesome there. She looks so non. She's dressed up to look like a man in Game of Thrones.
Oh,
Very
really?
very butch. Clearly, there's no makeup way back in the medieval days,
Right.
and but she's she's a warrior and very Xena warrior princess, but not quite as smoking. And to see her there, I mean, what a beautiful shot. She really is a beautiful woman, and it's just a shame Game of Thrones. She's really not made to
Hmm.
look very attractive at all. But that's the point of the character. But
Right.
these are nice
So
marketing shots. But
yeah, at this point we have no idea who these two women are playing. I've seen the wildest speculation that Lupita is, cast as Asajj Ventress, which makes absolutely no sense to me.
correct.
Um, and then Gwendolyn, I saw her cast as what
She would
Mon
make more sense
Mothma.
as
I heard not Mon Mothma, but her daughter or something like that. Just like come on,
What?
it's like going back to Super Shadow type of speculation.
Oh dear, it's yeah. Well, we'll find out soon enough. But I think hopefully this puts to bed the whole "there's not enough women in Star Wars" thing, which was I just thought was a bit out of hand. But I guess obviously being a man, I don't see that side of things. But we should be evenly balanced now. So
Yeah, they had two awesome ones, two women. So
indeed, indeed. So
what else happened last week? This
just
another
another Star Wars movie.
just another Star Wars movie. Another spin-off film director was announced. Josh Trank.
That's right. I was trying to share the link there, but Star Wars has got a 404 on it, but we'll try and find it again from the homepage. There we go. They've changed the URL. Sneaky buggers. Yeah, Josh Trank is the Fantastic Four director. Yeah, he was. Or is.
Right.
Upcoming Fantastic Four, yeah.
Yep, he directed Chronicle, that movie from a couple years back.
What was that? That rings a bell.
That's kind of like a superhero kind of found footage movie.
That's right. That's right. Yep. Yeah, that wasn't bad.
Yeah, I didn't mind it.
So he's the newest director to join the family. No idea what movie he's making, but he's making one of the spin-offs. So, and he's also doing Fantastic Four, which, God, what's that? It's the third version in about 10 years. It's going to be a challenge.
Fantastic Four. Yeah, there have been two
Yeah,
with
there
the
was
same actors and actresses. But
was a
this is a reboot.
Yeah, there was a super dodgy direct-to-video one, but it was so campy, it was great. It was really good. So, but yeah, Josh Trank has got 3 Star Wars movies in the move, plus 2 other spin-offs, or 3 if we know, or 5 if we take the rumors to be true. Wow, that's a lot of movies.
So
What's
I
next?
think that wraps up our spoilery talk. So
Yes, spoilery talk over. The next thing was just something, I think the offer's closed now, but I'll share it on screen anyway. And it's also my kind of acquisition of the week, but it's a bit of a news story. Was Gus and Duncan, if you don't know who they are. Gus I can't remember the names now.
Gus Lopez.
Gus Lopez, thank you, and Duncan Jenkins. Two venerable Star Wars collectors, in fact, way up there with Steve Sansweet and Posse. What am I like today? But they have released a kind of bundle of some of their best-selling books together, and if you still get time and you can still grab it, you get them both signed for $50. Absolute bargain. These are full color books. If you're into prototypes or collectibles of any kind, very similar to Steve Sansweet's books, it shows you a lot of stuff. I mean, from cornflake packages, just looking at the covers just now, to ice cream wrappers, and even down to the figures and everything, as well as this prototype stuff as well. Most of it which you've never seen, I can guarantee. I've seen the book before. But these books have been out for some time, and they're pretty expensive on their own. I think $45 each. So to get two of them and signed by the guys as well for $50 is very, very good. And shipping was pretty reasonable as well. Yes, they ship internationally too, and it's not too bad. So yeah, I thought it was a really good deal, and I don't know if you've ever picked up any of their books before. Or...
Yep. They've got a spot on my shelf.
Nice. I should have known. What else have we got there? So that was Gus and Duncan's book. This was just another little blast. While I was in a kind of Gus and Duncan mood, something else popped up, and I'll just share this again here, which was an old classic video of Gus Lopez's collection. And he shared some modern stuff a year or so ago with some of the guys at Star Wars Action News, and a few very lucky others got to go along to where are we? It would help if I was on the right screen here. There we go. That's maybe going to be helping us see what we're doing. This was... if I could share the right thing. I'm clearly not right today. Caffeine is needed here. Come on.
We're out of our groove. We're 2 days off. Groove.
There you go. So Gus Lopez, a really old vintage collection from 2001. He still has awesome stuff way back to 2001. Now this guy, he's moved, and he's quadrupled his collection, but it's a really good, a little 20-minute interview, I think it is. A very young Gus Lopez, and just great to see the stuff. He's all high on the kind of Phantom Menace, still that kind of wave of like, awesome movie, ooh, that was okay movie, kind of stuff. So it's just really good. So yeah, again, a great collector, one who's way up there with Steve Sansweet. He doesn't get enough credit. He was really great at Celebration Europe. We got to meet and talk to him again and listen to all these stories of his collection, and he's just got tons of stuff, and he presents it beautifully in IKEA Billy cabinets, which I found out after I bought mine. So I thought that was a venerable seal of approval that one of the world's top collectors does that stuff. So.
They're great cabinets.
All good. Great cabinets.
Let's see, what else?
More Lego stuff, actually.
Right. It was leaked. Well, I don't know about leaked, but it was posted on Amazon that there may be another whole Star Wars Lego Chronicles series coming out. There's the Yoda Chronicles. I think they're on like the second version of that right now, but Nathan P. Butler, who does Star Wars Timeline Gold, and he serves as a expanded universe contributor for Star Wars Action News, he found a link on Amazon's website for a book that mentions the Vader Chronicles. So it's a as of yet unannounced series. So
it sounds very likely. Likely. Well, the kind of Yoda Chronicles, it's drawn its conclusion, I think. Otherwise, it's more holocrons. But Vader was the original kind of, not hero, but he was the original kind of focus for these episodes, and then the Yoda Chronicles really kicked in full steam.
Right, because like the first, I'd call it season of it, it was called the Yoda Chronicles, and now currently airing is called the new Yoda Chronicles. So I think there's another 3 episodes. I think there's another one that airs like on the 15th or the 20th of this month. A new episode, but I think once they conclude with that Yoda series, that we'll get this Vader one before the end of the year.
Yep.
Oh, let's see.
I just added something. Oh, you've added it as well. The Battlefront is had a bit of a
Yeah,
video.
EA Games announced today at their E3 show. They're calling it an official trailer, but it's not really much of a trailer. It's more of a behind-the-scenes look at the development of the new Star Wars Battlefront game. It's not Battlefront 3. It's just a standalone Battlefront, and it takes place during the original trilogy. So it shows some cool footage from Hoth and or where you could ride speeder bikes through the woods, and on Hoth you could pilot snow speeders and whatnot. So some of the footage looks really pretty great.
It does indeed, and there's a lot of developer stuff. I mean, we'll let everyone watch the full video, but you get to see some of the props, but it really kicks in, I think, round about 1 minute 35 into it, you get actual test footage of ATSTs.
Yep.
A little bit of Endor, which just looks real. That just looks real. We're just watching the speeder bike, and it's a little choppy, obviously, because we're shooting video, but it's astoundingly good looking. So, yeah.
Yeah, so none of what they had shown was actual in-game play, not gameplay footage, but just rendered whatnot. And they, at the end of the video, they give a little tease that more is going to be revealed in September, or not in September, but in spring of 2015. So to me, that doesn't mean that's the release date. That's just they're getting more teasing, more announcing.
The teasing is, damn it. Yeah. Well, I think they'd also hinted out that they just, it'll be ready when it's ready.
Right. I saw that as well on Twitter today.
Yep. So,
from our good friend Justin over at Jedi News, he posted something about that.
So yeah, might as well just take the time and get it right.
Right.
So that's us.
So now we come to the new toy and acquisition part of the show, where I had mentioned before that I had jumped in with both ears on this Vinylmation line of figures from Disney. Like I mentioned, I got in contact with Kevin Gothorpe, and he's hooking me up with last year's Star Wars Weekends Han and Carbonite set, which it's basically two pieces in one. It's got a Han Solo figure and then a Carbonite that you could put him in. There's the 9-inch Rancor that came out this year, along with the Rancor Keeper he's getting for me. The Luke and the Yoda. I think it's a regular size Luke, and then there's like a tiny little 1-inch Yoda that fits on his back. I thought it was cute as heck, and that was the impetus really for me to get into it, because it was from my Yoda Focus collection. And then I figured he was hooking me up with that, and he said he can make me a decent deal with some of these other ones. So now he's my Vinylmation crack dealer. And then he's hooking me up with the holographic Emperor Palpatine. And also, there's another set that's not listed here. This coming weekend, there's actually more that's not listed here. There's a R5D4 and Yoda, or not Yoda, Jawa 2-pack that is coming out this coming weekend. He's getting me that. And then there's the Boba Fett topper and the prototype Boba Fett topper that comes. Each of those figures are available separately, but each of the figures come with a blind boxed version, or blind box character from the Series 4 that just was released this past month and a half or so.
It's a dark side to go down, sir. It's very dark.
I know. I'm gonna try it, and if I don't stick with it, at least I have a nice exclusive group of figures that I could maybe dump off in one lump. But no, Kevin's helping me out with them, and I'm appreciative. So
you say that, but it's far easier to acquire the figures than it is to actually get rid of them. Trust me, I know from recent experiences, like trying to offload all this stuff. Oh,
I know.
My God. I tried to catalog, I think I said to you the other day, the weekend, some of the minifigures and things I had just to try and get an idea and the value. And I dare not even say on public channels.
Right.
Yeah. It's expensive, and it's trying to get rid of them, or if you want to, is a whole lot harder.
And so then one other thing One
Oh,
other thing I
cool.
picked up this week was the Kotobukiya Mara Jade. I posted Saturday. Was it Saturday or Sunday? All the days blur together now. My full toy guide update for that figure, which is really, really nice. I recommend it.
Share something. I actually didn't see that. Um, so of course it's going to be very anime style because it's Japanese. Oh yeah, it is. Oh wow, very nice. Busojo or I can never pronounce that properly. Bushojo?
Jojo
Oh
means
dear.
beautiful girl, and
There
it's
you
it's
go.
a
Well,
it's a cool looking piece. I have the Jaina Solo one. I think I mentioned on a prior show and
did
showed off a
did.
little bit. It it is very womanly, I'll say.
Oh wow, yes, it is.
But
Okay, dokie.
it's not like
No,
perverted or anything. It's not something you would
it's not
be
quite the
embarrassed if
Japanese schoolgirl little
some of
ones that
those
they
other
normally
ones that you
have.
could buy.
Yes, yes, that's a very well sculpted piece.
Mm.
Uh,
But it's
no,
great.
that's pretty special. That's really pretty cool. Those
Cool. And
little
the hair's
pieces of hair would just freak me out that they were going to snap.
yeah, they do have some bend to them. I mean, they're pliable, but they would break if dropped or given a little too much effort. But the hair is really cool as far as it's a little bit translucent where the light could shine through it at the tips, and she comes with interchangeable parts. She could switch out with either the purple lightsaber or Luke's blue lightsaber. What else? She has a removable cape, and you could switch out for like this little hood piece that she can't wear as a hood. That's just the piece they call it, and then a set of goggles that are on there, and then her base can either be displayed by sandwiching the Rebel or Imperial sheet in between it.
Wow.
It's like a little vinyl sheet. But the
That's
figure
very
itself is
impressive.
about 8 inches tall. 9 inches tall.
That's a cool piece. That's a lot cooler than I thought it was, actually. I thought
Yeah.
it was going to be very anime, the huge eyes, the kind of.
Right.
But that's fairly. You could almost see Sideshow coming out with something like that.
Yeah.
This was Gentle Giant, though, wasn't it? Yes, Gentle Giant.
This is Kotobukiya that came out.
Oh, sorry, could have been. What am I on? The box looked very Gentle Giant packaging.
Right. Yeah, I think a lot of the, obviously a lot of the high-end stuff is in that black and gray type of premium line look that they were calling it. So.
I'd be surprised if there was no maybe Gentle Giant did do some scanning or something. I'm just looking at the box shot you got there, but no. Very nice piece, sir. That's quite a cool collectible.
Yep.
Dare we ask? Is that a fairly expensive piece? Is that quite a?
It retails for about 70.
That's not
70. And it's like I said, it's like a fully painted model. They call it a model kit. You do have to assemble it as you showed, shared in that parts photo there. So yeah,
that's reasonable.
Yeah, I thought not too bad, and I picked it up. I can't remember which. I pre-ordered it so long ago. It just showed up on my doorstep. I think it went up for pre-order like in December, but I didn't pay this, the full amount. I think I got it like for $60.
Excellent.
Yeah.
You got
Let's
a
see.
Marvel Legends Black Widow? Was that something else you bought?
No.
Was that me?
No.
DA for the blank. I picked up Lego Ghostbusters. Had to.
Ah.
So not Star Wars. You don't know that was out yet, or?
Yeah, I do remember seeing it. I didn't. So is that like the Ecto 1 along with
Ecto
all the
1,
characters?
Yep. It's a rather cool looking set, has to be said, and it's very much, if you've bought, or anyone out there who's watching has bought the Lego Back to the Future set, which was just beautiful. This is now basically the same kind of thing, but it's been done into this style here. See if I can just bring it up on Amazon. But it's I think it's right about $50, but you get the 4 characters and Ecto 1. I don't think there's a Slimer with it, which was a little odd.
Mm.
I thought they could have chucked in a tiny little Slimer or repainted Jabba's son. Let's see if we can show this on screen. Do you know what I mean? Rota the Hutt, I think it was.
Rota.
I can't remember.
Yep.
So they were just showing just a little look at it. If you haven't seen it, it's a pretty cool little piece. Non-Star Wars, of course, but hey, we're just shooting the breeze here. So yeah, you get a cool little set. It's only it's gone up in price. Amazon did have it for 50, but so Venkman and all the posse and this cool little Ecto one. So yeah, cool little set. Couldn't say no. It's one of these Lego Ideas sets that they produce, which fans basically contribute. So the winning contributor gets 1% of all the earnings of this.
Oh,
so,
really? I didn't realize that. Because
yeah, they do.
It used to be Lego Ideas used to be the Kuso or whatever it was called. Right?
Yeah, that's right. It used to be Kuso. I think it was just too unpronounceable and people didn't know what it was. So Lego Ideas, that'll do. And that was, I think, yeah, nothing else from me. I'm getting rid of stuff and selling bits and pieces. But no, that was it in Gus and Duncan's books. That's it. So nothing else for me.
A good solid week for both of us, I think.
Indeed.
Me a little bit more, but
We've come to expect this.
Par for the course. So with that, I think that wraps up this week's show. Again, sorry for the delay. I mean, we were originally going to go Saturday, but we had another show we were recording, which was, I'll say, was quite fun. And that's going to be the next episode of Boring Conversation. Anyway, number 54 now.
Yep.
Where a few of the guys sat around and we put in A New Hope, and we provided toy commentary, which was pretty fun.
It was. I just played some about it yesterday. There was some interesting stuff. I learned stuff about A New Hope that I didn't know. There you go. So
I was watching it today too at work, and it was fun. It was funny.
It was definitely good fun. So I'm just going to upload the MP3 if anybody wants it. But yeah, it was good fun. All good.
So with that, then, we'd like to thank all of our friends that had shared and posted and contributed and left comments on our past shows. And we will be back in a few short days, I guess, with our next show.
I was going to say that. Feels like it already. So, yeah, we'll recap 19.
19. We'll see what fun news comes out this week, and we'll see if I could curb my spending habits.
You get 4 days just to see what you can
4 days. I can do it. All right, sir.
Cool.
Thank you for another episode, and we will talk to you guys and gals next week.
Adios.